Hi guys, welcome to BitcoinGem channel. I hope you all are doing great. So in this video, we are going to look into Bitcoin and we are going to look into Bitcoin weekly chart. We want to see something very important that I am keeping an eye on and I wanted to share this with you. So I hope you guys find this content valuable. And if you are really liking my content, please subscribe to the channel, like the video and share it among others. So guys, let us jump onto the Bitcoin weekly chart. One thing that I have been constantly observing, and I think this is a very important time to share this with you. I had also tweeted this a lot of times, but my recent tweet was on 30th April. If you guys have seen this tweet, I don't know. Bitcoin weekly 2014, 2018, and 2022. I had shared three charts because all three charts are looking very similar to me in terms of trend. So what am I talking about? Let us see in today's video. In front of us is a Bitcoin weekly chart. And first, let me take back to the 2014 chart, 2014. So this is 2014-15 period. What we are observing is very simple but a very important trend point. If you observe, there are three different trend lines or EMAs, exponential moving average. The green one is 21 EMA, the black one is 89 EMA, and the red one is 200 EMA. Okay, now observe this. In 2014, we are looking at the Bitcoin weekly chart just for your knowledge. What happened? We broke this black trend line or the 89 EMA. This was the breakdown. We broke this support. What happened later on? We had a huge correction the following week. Bitcoin went from $400 to around 280. We went back up, we retested it, and eventually we again broke down. Every candle you see over here represents 1 week. So when we broke this black trend line or the 89 EMA, the following week we saw a correction in the Bitcoin chart. And if we observe this correction, it was of approx 30%. So from $400 to almost $276. In the following few weeks, we did get a relief rally and we tried to reclaim this. But just look at this, every week we had a weekly closing below the black line or the 89 EMA. And eventually we again saw a huge dump on the Bitcoin pair. And this time Bitcoin went from around 385 all the way to $150. And that's where Bitcoin formed its bottom. So it took almost, let us say, we will calculate from the following week. This was the breakdown. So from the following week, it took almost 105 days to bottom. And at this time, Bitcoin was a fairly low market cap as compared to today. This is 2014. Now let us go and check to 2017-18. So this is 2018. Again, a very similar pattern. We broke the 89 EMA. Lot of similarities. If you see, we were constantly trending below the green line, that is 21 EMA. We broke the 89 EMA in this candle. And what happened in the following candle? We saw a huge move down, which was again approx 37% in the same week. This time we did not even go back up to retest the black line. Instead, we broke this red line that you see, that is 200 EMA, and we were constantly trending below it. See this every week, we try to regain it as support, but eventually it happened after how many days? Let us calculate. Eventually it happened after around approx 133 days, where we regained it as support, and this was the bottom for Bitcoin. So again, Bitcoin went from $5,500 to around $3,100, and it took 133 days to bottom. So it was in a accumulation zone the entire time after this breakdown. Now, if we look at the current chart, for the first time, we have broken this 89 EMA after the COVID crash. So this was the Bitcoin bottom. Then we again regained 89 EMA as support, and we never broke it except for the COVID crash. So COVID crash was a black swan event, so we ignore that. So if we are following the same pattern, we have broken the 89 EMA, and if we follow the same pattern, the coming week we can see another 30, 30, 25, 30% dump. This time we may not see 35%, but 30%, I don't know. I am just telling you that there is a possibility of a huge correction in the coming week. If we say, let's see 30%, then it is 24,000. If we see 35%, 37% like the previous cycle, then it is 21,000. So if we are following the same similar pattern, then we are likely to see dump at the earliest in the coming week or else soon. And what will it happen? It generally happens, it breaks even the 200 EMA, which is currently at around $27,000. So it breaks even that, it forms bottom below it, and then it takes approx 100 to 130 days of accumulation before we start a new leg up. So this, in my opinion, is very important. I am personally keeping an eye on this. I am not ready to take any risk until we invalidate this thing. Personally, for me, if Bitcoin will not repeat what it had did two previous cycles, it has to at least be above this uh, 89 weekly EMA, which as of today is at around $38,235. So Bitcoin needs to be about 38,500 to be on a safer side on the weekly closing. Then only I will invalidate this theory, or else previous two cycle data is enough for me to be cautious and not go against the previous trends. There is a very limited data on Bitcoin as such because it is only trading for since last 12 years, but these two previous cycle datas are not at all something that you would like to invalidate. I wouldn't. We have followed the same data during the bull market, so why can't it happen in the bear market? So this is something you should keep an eye on, because to invalidate this, as I told you, it needs to be above 38,200 as of today. Now, if we don't look at the exponential moving average, this was one validation. The second validation is just the simple moving average. Now we look at the simple moving average, and let me change the two important moving averages so that you can view it very clearly. We look at the simple moving average, and we look at two important moving averages. Again, we are looking at the weekly chart, and we look at moving averages of 100 and 200 MA. Just give me 1 minute. So what we look at is simple moving averages and two important long-term moving averages, that is 100 MA and 200 MA. So 100 weekly moving average and 200 weekly moving average. Again, let's go back to 2013 bull market. So that is 2014 and 2015 period. What happened? You can see over here, Bitcoin broke 100 moving average in this week. And what happened in the following week? It went on to correct another 50% from there. Of course, it was a small market cap. Do not forget that. And eventually it bottomed and then it started a new wave. Similarly, if we look into 2017-18 market, look at this. Bitcoin broke this orange line that you see is the 100 weekly MA. And what followed was a huge correction to the 200 weekly MA where Bitcoin found its bottom. So this is again validating the same trend that happened in the 2014-15 and 2018. So a 4-year cycle for Bitcoin has been very, very apt and valid, and I don't think it should be something that you should avoid. You should keep in mind for sure. So in this weekly candle, we are we have broken 100 simple moving weekly average, which again as of today is at around 36,200. We have broken that. If we don't have a weekly closing above it, then I think this threat of Bitcoin going further down. And generally, what has happened is whenever Bitcoin has broken 100 simple moving average, we saw it has corrected harsh to find its bottom at 200 simple moving average, which as of today is at 21,500. Let's say it takes a few weeks to reach there, then it can be somewhere around 22 to 22,500. So my point is, if we look at simple moving average, if we look at exponential moving average, all the previous cycles, 2013 bull market, 2017 bull market, and 2021 bull market, or 2014, 2018, and now 2022, it is like clockwork working 4 years. If it is going to repeat, again it's a if, but in my opinion it is likely, so don't take it lightly. So we have a simple invalidation for this theory also. It's very simple. Bitcoin needs to be above 100 weekly MA for the first invalidation, and the second invalidation will be it needs to be above 89 V exponential moving average. So we have two simple invalidations. It needs to be about 36,200 immediately, and ultimately it needs to be about 38,200, and this threat of it going down will be invalidated. Simple. So you see there is a huge downside potential, and we have a small upside invalidation theory also. So I think this is something which you should keep in mind. I am keeping this in mind. I am watching this, and I'm not in a hurry to make any move because this has a huge downside potential, and hence I thought this would be very important to share it with you because I personally am going to watch this very, very carefully. So, as early, if this theory is going to play, we can see a huge correction in the coming week. That is today's Sunday. So, in the coming week, we can see a huge correction. But even if we don't see it, we can even see a small bleed down. So, hence, it is very important for Bitcoin to be about 36,200, but eventually be about 38,200 to completely discard this theory. So this is why it was very important for me to share it with you. I hope you guys appreciate the content I bring to you. Do follow me on Twitter and do follow on the Telegram group. Do not miss it, it's a free group. Subscribe to the Telegram group. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye bye.